Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's my intro. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. This is the one and only Optibotimus. I'm on a roll doing a couple of reviews here, but some real fun stuff has been coming out lately. And like I said, I never really wanted to say that I was retiring because cool stuff might come around that I want to showcase for you, and that's definitely the case the past couple ones. And there's a couple other fun ones that are coming up that I'm excited about. Transformer related, mind you. But this is the new Target exclusive Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1988 Remastered 6-pack, which is amazing. This is, like I said, a Target exclusive, but it's one of those kind of things where, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get it, get it, get it. Okay. The remastered line started a little bit ago. We got the 4 turtles with display stands. Sorry, with display stands some time ago, and there was a bit of a controversy with what is he doing. He's the controversy was primarily focused around the turtles' texture of their skin, I should say. How it was bumpy, it was slightly off-colored from the original, because these are supposed to basically be taking the original vintage Playmate toys that we got in the 80s and updating them, kind of like what Mattel is doing with their Masters of the Universe Origins line. That's kind of the concept here. But with this Target exclusive pack, we have the 4 turtles, but they actually changed them. They listened to what basically fans were saying, and they modified them. So the sculpt is essentially the same, but it doesn't have that texture anymore, that weird bumpy texture that a lot of people complained about, which is amazing. But as I said, this is a 6-pack. So for the first time, we also have a new Splinter as well as a Shredder, which is outstanding. And this is a set that honestly I can see a lot of collectors getting possibly 2 of, because the packaging for this is fantastic. You can see that the way that it is designed, it looks as if they are in that Playmates sewer playset. So you got the elevator here, you got a ladder, the little periscope, and then even when you come around here to the top, you can see. So like on that original vintage sewer playset, which that's another thing that I'm really excited about. That's coming out in a couple days. You got the telescope, and as it goes up, it was attached to a fire hydrant that you can rotate around, and they have the fire hydrant there. You have the stairs that lead up to a manhole. You have this elevator that goes up, and it opens there. I mean, I think that what they did with this is fantastic. Come around to the back, you got a little bit of a read-up, and then you have cartoon images of Shredder, Splinter. Of course, we got Shredder. Did I say Shredder? Shredder, Splinter, and the Turtles. That's what I meant to say. We do know that we are also getting remastered versions of some other characters, Bebop, Rocksteady, things like that, which is going to be really cool. But I love the fact that they did that with the packaging. And like I said, I think a lot of collectors will probably want to get 2 of these. One that they can actually open, and one that they can keep sealed like this, recreating the sewer playset, which I think is fantastic. But we're going to get these guys out here. I'm not going to keep this in the box, but let's get this out here and see how cool they actually are. All right, guys, so here we have the 1988 remastered. Do they call it the remastered set? What do they call it? Yeah, remastered 6-pack, open up and out of its packaging. And this is essentially the set that I really feel like a lot of people would have wanted. The individual release of the Turtles was fantastic, but they really did improve them with this reissue, I guess, in terms of a 6-pack sort of thing. I'm really quite happy with how it turned out. Now, I was not that dissatisfied with them updating them to give them a little bit more texture. I actually didn't mind it all that much. I did understand the overall complaint that by a lot of people that, if you're going to remaster them and kind of give them the same kind of look that the original 1988 figures had, why put that texture on there? And I get that. It didn't bother me all that much, but I will say that I do think that this set is far superior. Now, there is a lot of stuff that is missing in this particular set. A lot weapons, things like that. A lot of those individual weapons, like for example with Raphael, he does not come with that little dagger that can go in the back there. Also, they don't come with the display stands. Now, if you have those other ones, you can still use them. The sculpt of the belt and everything is the same, so you can still put that in there if you really wanted to. And the display stands, you have the holes in the feet and everything. That can work as well. So if you still have those, you can still use them with these guys, which is really nice. The other thing, in terms of getting rid of the texture on the Turtles, they also corrected, and I don't remember which one it was, but they had the faces swapped on some of them. Was it? I want to say, was it Donatello and Leonardo? I want to say it was Donatello and Leonardo. They had the expressions swapped. These are far more accurate to those 1988 figures, which is nice. I don't know if that was an error that they did before, but it's been corrected. But also in terms of the coloring on each of them is a lot more accurate to those original 88 figures. I do apologize. As I mentioned before, I'm in my new place. I do not have easy access to those the original remastered ones to show you a comparison. But for example, Raphael, you can see, is a much lighter color, which again, far more accurate to it, but you can also see no texture on the skin. So if you're looking for a true updated, articulated version of the Turtles, similar to their look in that 1988 release, this is what you're going to want. This is absolutely fantastic. Comes with his size, as you would expect. But as I said, he does not come with like the little dagger thing. I mean, technically there is one in this set, but it's specifically with Shredder. But really very nice. Color looks really good. Taking a look at Donatello, that again, a darker green, a little bit more brown in there. But like I said, I want to say that the head was on him was different, but now this is accurate. I also think that the purple color was different on there, and you can see that I have his bow staff in the back there, but again, fantastic. Great detail on here. None of that texturing, which, like I said, it really upset some people. You got Leonardo. His weapons are a little bit loose. I'm trying to remember. They're a little bit more flimsy, and they did kind of rotate around, but I don't remember if the original one was like that. But again, you got a little bit more of a green, whereas his a little bit more brown in there. You got the holster section here in the back. None of the articulation is different on this. I'm just kind of going through the Turtles because we basically already know what to get, or what we're getting with them. Everybody complained about just the swivel down here, and I definitely think that they could have put in one of those kind of hinge joints or something like that, and you'll see why here in a bit. But there's Leo taking a look at Michelangelo. Again, color far more accurate. I feel like the orange of his bandana stuff is a little bit brighter as well. Love the fact that you got the chain nunchucks. That was something that always, I remember talking about this, drove me absolute nuts back in the original days, because it was a situation where all the weapons were plastic. So when you wedge these in here, definitely tight, it would bend the plastic connecting piece, and it would end up destroying it. It would break. So really nice to see the chain kind of coming in here. It just makes it a little bit more of an enjoyable kind of figure. But there you have Michelangelo. Now the two new ones, if the design of these, the color, all that kind of stuff wasn't enough to want you to pick this set up, these two figures are new additions to them. So we have Master Splinter, which people have complained about him because he originally came with a cloth robe Same thing with Shredder. He came with a cloth cape. I don't necessarily mind this. It looks really good. I'm happy that they went with this route. Again, I can see where, you know, if you're gonna try to do that, you're gonna want to try to stay as true to those original ones as possible. But I think that this is perfectly fine. I think that the look on him is great. Obviously, because he's a rat, he does have. Oh, that's a little bit too. Let me zoom in here. You can see that he's got some fur texturing on here, which I think is very appropriate for him because, again, that original figure did have it. He's got his tail here. I love his weapons. These are new weapons. So this is his. I'm dropping them. His cane, which can open up to be like a dagger, which again is accurate to that original toy. Get in there. Oh shit. That bent that. I'm sorry. Don't swear, Paul. Kids are watching your video. Whatever. So you have that. You also do have a little throwing star that he comes with. That is not going to focus on it. Well, there is a little throwing star for him. And then his bow and arrow, which was, again, a weapon that his original one, but they updated it to actually have the arrow be removable, which is nice. And you got this little sliding, well, not little sliding thing, but a little connecting section here, which can kind of allow you to slide it back and forth. But like I was talking about with the Turtles, people complain about the ankles. They actually gave him a kind of back and forth and rotation joint on there. So you can get some good poses with this. I do wish that these guys had that for more dynamic poses. It's not bad that he has it. I think it's great. I just think that if you're willing to do it here, why not there? That's just my criticism. But great detail all the way around. You can see got its little tooth right there. I do like how they have this sculpted to kind of look like it's kind of drooping. He's got his tail in the back that just rotates. Articulation on this guy, and great texture on the actual robes as well. He does have the ball joint at the head, so nice range of motion. Shoulders, pin and hinge joints all the way around. Same thing with the elbows. The wrists rotate around. Does he rotate at the waist? No, I don't think he does, because that's all one piece. And this is a softer material, so it's not too bad. But you got the hips that move forward and back. I feel like those are kind of ball joints because those are moving forward and back and in and out. So I feel like those are kind of universal joints there as well. Same thing with the knee. So you're going to want to bend that because you got to have him in a squat pose kind of thing. That's just the way it is. And then you can see what was going on with the ankles, and then the tail just rotates around. But fantastic. Really very nice to get this guy. And it really does make the set work. Like I said, if you were upset about having to, I got to rebuy the Turtles to get the accurate look. Yeah, but you're also getting 2 new figures with it, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. So there we have Hamato Yoshi, otherwise known as Splinter. Now here we have Oroku Saki, otherwise known as Shredder. Now, the original Shredder figure was so terrible because the pre-pose thing was something asinine, like this. You can never get him to stand. He was so bad. So updating him to be able to actually stand, so much better. He's got that the 88 look with like no shirt and everything. I do kind of wish he did have an actual cloth cape, probably more so than Splinter. I think that he really could have benefited from him. He still stands perfectly fine. But again, they went backwards with it. So where they put the pin hinge joint for his ankle, they just put a swivel joint for his. You really should have, so that, if you wanted to recreate that stupid pose that the vintage toy had, you could. But they didn't. And that's kind of disappointing. Weapon-wise, you can see he does come with his sword. You got the blades and everything on the little shredder bits. That's all there. But you got one sword. You have a little baby sword. You have this little pizza dagger. I don't know what it's. I know it's probably gonna name, but it's the shape of a pizza. And then this little. I'm gonna hold this and just like slice you kind of thing. So you do have those weapons with him. Again, very reminiscent of the vintage toy. But great detail on him as well. The head sculpt looks fantastic. His eyes are a little wonky. if you come in, like he's like really staring at you. Great sculpt with the helmet. Obviously, him not wearing a shirt is toy accurate, not so much cartoon accurate. They probably, in the cartoon, they probably changed it because like we don't need to see man boobs on a children's cartoon. But you got these little bits there. I like how they still have the little strap going around his hand there. That's really cool. And this is very reminiscent of again, the vintage toy with the little cloth section here. That's a softer rubber. But then detail with the blades down on his shins and then his feet. And like I said, they rotate. I just wish that they did that hinge thing. I think that would have been really good. Articulation on him. Did I? Oh, wait, let me zoom back. Articulation on this guy. You got the ball joint, obviously. The pin hinge joint for the shoulders, elbows, rotation for the wrist. He does rotate at the waist, which is nice. And then you got the universal joints here where you kind of have to forward and back, but then if you want to go out, you have to rotate it. So it's a little bit wonky. Knees, pin hinge joints, and then the swivel at the ankle. This set is outstanding, and while I've been sitting here, we have this, and I kind of want to touch on this a little bit as well, but I'm dropping all this stuff. But again, I really love the attention to detail that Playmates has put into this to recreate the illusion of the sewer playset, because in the sewer playset, there were sections that had this, where there was like this blue bed with April on the television. You got a section here, you got this. This is all very reminiscent of that. I think they did a terrific job of recreating that look, and I think that fans are absolutely going to love this. I think that the overall value for this, and this is a $55 set, which I think is fantastic, considering this thing costs $60, right? $60. We get 6 figures here. Now, granted, these are, for the most part, reissues of what we got previously, but they are improved, and I think that that is a solid take on things. I think that they did a good job of improving the sculpt on them, the paint on them, all of that, correcting the head, everything. Definitely worth it. The additional selling point is these 2 new figures on there. So like I said, I don't know if I would necessarily have bought these if they were sold individually. Again, I might have, to be honest, I probably would have. But some people probably wouldn't have. But by including them and the improvements to these, I really think that they did a good job by fans in kind of recognizing that, you know, they messed up a little bit. And let's go back and let's address that and correct that in this set. So I'm extremely happy with it. I think that getting these just makes me want some other ones very, very badly. I mean, I think it would be fantastic if they continued on doing these with some of those more popular characters. Like I said, we know we're getting Bebop and Rocksteady. Hopefully they go the route of getting rid of the texture on them, because those ones did kind of look weird. Maybe a new Krang, another Foot Soldier. Some of those vintage early 1988 figures I think would be really a cool place to start. And like I said, I love the fact that we're getting these, and we're going to be getting that new sewer playset here in a bit. And at least this way I'll be able to have some Ninja Turtles to kind of show you inside that. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new 1988 Remasters 6-pack of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, including Splinter and Shredder. If you'd like to pick this up, it is a Target exclusive. They are out right now, so good luck and happy hunting. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, because what did I say? It makes unicorns happy. And who does not want happy unicorns? You don't want a horse with a big, giant thing sticking out of its forehead not being happy. So make them happy by hitting that thumbs up button. And until next time, guys, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and I'll be the same.